Okay, so my sister-in-law's Honda HRV, guys. You're probably familiar with this model. You know, little mini SUV. Nice little car, actually. Very nice indeed. I like the fact that it's traditional in the sense that it's not, you know, GDI, no direct injection or turbo. Just basic, just the way I like my cars. Simple, less to go wrong. Anyway, I was just doing a couple of week minor items for her. She had the battery go dead on her a couple of weeks ago and it stranded her. However, she thinks she may have left the ignition on and it hasn't been an issue since. The car starts fine and stuff, but since the weather, since the temperatures are starting to plunge, she wanted me to take a look at the battery. Now, I don't have professional grade tools by any stretch of the imagination, guys, but I have the Autool BT360. You guys have seen this on the channel in the past. Seems to be a decent wee rig, and I bought this actually because again, you guys might recall I had the BT380, I think it is, the little analyzer and charger combo, and it turned out to be junk. The data that it was providing after the analysis was just nonsense. So I ditched that, and I actually ended up replacing it with this. I don't think I've actually shown this on the channel. It's just a cheap Chinese analyzer and charger, right? It's the KW510. It's everywhere. It's cheap. I think I paid like $60 for it or something, but it does have charge facility, and that's what I wanted. And it has, you know, the all singing, all dancing regeneration capacity. I think it basically pulses a 12-volt pulse charge on a battery and miraculously, you know, rejuvenates the batteries from the dead. I think it's horse shit myself, but you guys probably know more about it than me with respect to battery rejuvenation. Anyway, so the reason I have the two is these things are notoriously unreliable, and I just wanted to use two separate analyzers to actually check the battery, and we'll see if they're singing the same song. Yeah, so two things I wondered about. It doesn't ask you to input the ambient temperature, so naturally, the lower the temperature, the battery is going to lose capacity. Yeah, how does it know that? How does that account for that? Maybe you guys can answer that in the comments. And another thing I was wondering about is if you use this with the battery actually hooked up to the car, right? Obviously, all the other loads are in parallel with the battery terminals. How can it accurately take the internal temperature, the internal resistance of the battery? That's a mystery to me. I don't understand that. If the battery is not standing alone, how can you effectively analyze its internal resistance? I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look, see what kind of numbers it spits at. Okay, first things first. Hope you guys can see there. It is in fact 410 cold cranking amps, and that will actually says test load at 200 amps. I guess if you have the old school load tester, you know. In any case, the 410 cold cranking amps is going to be important with respect to setting up the two tools and obviously establishing the capacity of the battery so it can perform a relevant, meaningful test. Okay, so with the BT360, it's given as a static voltage, a standing voltage for the battery at 12.86. Well, that seems slightly overcharged to me. Maybe I'll put a meter on this to cross-check that, but we'll check it with the other one first. I have changed the headlights actually, so I had the headlights on for a wee while, so the surface charge should be gone. Okay, so I have 410 cold cranking amps actually selected, and I had roughly the same number, 12.72 volts. Sitting here statically, so I turned on the headlights again to bleed maybe the surface charge on it. The car has had a lengthy run to get to my place, so yeah, let's keep an eye on the discrepancy between the values here. Worryingly, the voltage actually went to 12.02 volts with just the headlights on, so that seems a bit low to me. We'll keep that in mind. Consider everything collectively when we have an assessment here. Okay, so cold cranking amps. Let's see what it says. Testing. State of health 47%. State of charge 98%. That could be about right because, as I said, the voltage went to 12 volts with just the headlights on. I don't like that. That seems a wee bit low. Of course, I could be mistaken. It says replace is the assessment. Okay, so I guess with respect to the internal resistance of the battery, the menu does ask you. I didn't show that to you guys. It asks you if the test is in or out of vehicle. So I guess it makes a distinction with that. Although again, that still leaves me asking some questions. But anyway, let's keep it basic here, guys. Same thing. I've set it up for 410 cold cranking amps. Let's see what it says here. This one's saying state of health is 67% and state of charge 98%. That's about the same, and I think the internal resistance is roughly the same. I'll put a split screen on here showing you the difference between the two here, guys, and we'll see what it says. But they're both saying replace. So let me just show you here. I think it's important to just show you. Now this car has a function that if you're not occupying the vehicle basically, and well, I don't know what the logic is, I won't say that. If you're not in the vehicle, you turn the headlights on. The headlights will only stay on for a short time, but long enough that I can show you the battery voltage here. Take a dive. Just turn the headlights on. So there's the battery voltage. That doesn't look right. That can't be right. That's just too low, you know. So this primarily is leading me to believe. There's the headlights actually timed out, as I said, and you can see the voltage coming back up. It'll climb back up and to in excess of 12.6, which leads you to believe, oh, that's pretty good. Loaded, clearly not good. And under the analyzers, they both here are singing roughly the same song, and their assessment is the same. Now, I'm not going to bother with the rest of the testing, the cranking and the charging, because that's all good, guys. It'd be pointless, really. But surprisingly, these are both singing roughly the same song, so I guess it's that's okay. And the voltage, that's not good. Right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so there you go. Decision made. New battery going in. My sister-in-law is the decisive type, unlike me. I'd have to think about that for a month before I decided to part with my money. Anyway, I'll throw the new battery in and we'll retest it and see how it goes. Okay, so the car's just been idling basically for about 5 or 10 minutes now, guys. There's the charge voltage, 14.4. That looks correct. And it's charging at 5 volts. It initially was like 12 volts, 10 volts. It's come down. That seems pretty stable now, in and around the, 5 amps. 5 amps, of course. So, yeah, I'll just shut the car off and we'll redo the battery test and see what it says with respect to its state of charge. So that's just the static battery there with the headlights on, guys. It was plunging to under 12 volts before, so again, that's a bit more typical, I would think. Yeah, so I'm just taking the surface charge off and headlights on for 10 seconds as per the instructions. Battery test. Let's talk about the surface charge, regular flooded, cold cranking amps. Standard cold cranking amps is 580, of course. State of health 100%. There it's telling you what the cold cranking amps calculated value actually are, which is above the nominal rating of 580, of course. State of charge 98%, that's normal, and that is normal as well for the static voltage. Is that what it is? That's what it is on the, so that makes sense. That all checks out. And the assessment, good battery. Well, better be. It was just purchased moments ago. Anyway, we'll call that good, guys. There you can see, of course, the system is drawing. It's not asleep yet. There's some modules, I'm sure, that are still drawing above the sleep current values. 3/4 of an amp, all making sense, right? Okay, so I hope that made some sense, guys. Some bits and pieces. Battery's marginal. My sister-in-law is no broke. She can afford a new battery. That's it. Good vehicle. Cheers.